chamber was vast and suffocating, its walls adorned with glyphs of blood magic. A crimson mist swirled across the floor, obscuring the grotesque carvings of faces screaming in agony. Steven stood at the center, surrounded by a glowing ritual circle etched with runes of decay and domination. His pale skin glistened with sweat, his eyes wild with power. Krystos entered, his heart pounding in rhythm with the energy pulsing through the room. He could feel the magic here, ancient, vile, and twisted by Steven's corruption. The amulet around Krystos's neck, gifted by the mystic, vibrated softly, as if urging him to act. "Krystos," Steven hissed, his voice like a blade slicing through the air. "You finally decided to face me." "Brave but foolish." Krystos stepped forward, his boots clicking against the cold stone. "You've stolen what isn't yours, Steven. You've defiled a bloodline that was never meant for you." Steven laughed, a harsh guttural sound. "Stolen? No, boy. I've perfected it. Your bloodline was weak, chained by rules and balance. I've turned it into something limitless." He raised his hands and the air grew heavy. The runes in the circle flared to life, casting the room in a sickly red light. The mist coalesced into figures, phantom warriors, their bodies twisted and incomplete. They lurched toward Krystos, their hollow eyes filled with malice. Krystos clenched his fists, drawing on the golden light within him. The energy flowed through his veins like fire, forming a shimmering aura around him. With a cry, he unleashed a wave of light, disintegrating the nearest phantoms. But more kept coming, their clawed hands swiping at him with relentless fury. "You can't fight me and them," Steven mocked, his voice dripping with arrogance. "This is my domain, Krystos. Every shadow here answers to me." Krystos dodged a phantom's attack, rolling to the side and raising his hand. A sphere of light erupted from his palm, carving a path through the horde. He focused his energy, creating a barrier of light around himself. But Steven wasn't finished. "You rely too much on balance," Steven said, stepping closer. "Let me show you what chaos can do." He slammed his staff into the ground, and the room quaked. The ritual circle expanded, its runes twisting and shifting into new patterns. From the center rose a colossal creature, a fusion of flesh, bone, and shadow. Its grotesque form towered over Krystos, its roar shaking the very air. Krystos braced himself, his mind racing. The mystic said, "I must confront my chaos." He closed his eyes, shutting out the noise, the fear, and the doubt. He delved deep into himself, finding the swirling storm of emotions he had always tried to suppress. This time, he didn't push them away. He embraced them. When Krystos opened his eyes, they burned with golden and crimson light, a fusion of balance and chaos. His aura shifted, becoming both radiant and wild. He raised his hand, summoning a weapon unlike any he'd wielded before. A twin-bladed staff, one side glowing with the purity of light, the other crackling with chaotic energy. The battle began in earnest. The colossal creature lashed out with shadowy tendrils, but Krystos met them head-on, his staff spinning in a dazzling display of power. Light and chaos danced together, cutting through the darkness with precision and fury. Steven watched, his confidence waning as Krystos pushed forward. "This isn't possible," Steven shouted, his voice trembling. "You can't control chaos?" Krystos turned to him, his expression calm, yet fierce. "It's not about control. It's about acceptance." With a final surge of power, Krystos leapt into the air, his staff aimed at the creature's core. The collision was explosive, light and shadow tearing through the chamber. The creature let out a final ear-piercing scream before disintegrating into ash. Steven stumbled back, his face pale with fear. "No, you don't understand. Without chaos, there is no power." Krystos landed gracefully, his staff dissolving into light. He walked toward Steven, who was now on his knees, trembling. "You're wrong. Power comes from balance, from knowing who you are." The chamber began to collapse, the ritual circle crumbling into dust. Krystos stood over Steven, his voice steady. "Your time is over." As the temple fell apart, Krystos walked away, leaving Steven behind. The battle was won, but the cost of embracing chaos lingered in Krystos's mind. For the first time, he truly understood the burden of his bloodline and the strength it would take to carry it forward.
It's in my bloodline, yeah. I was born with